Welcome back. Well, the commodities market is seeing a major impact from President Trump's flurry of trade deals in Asia, something Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent walked me through just moments ago. Gold prices this morning are trading this way. Take a look at the price of gold, which, of course, has been on a rally mode for some time. It is down this morning, $12.40 an ounce, about 1/3%. Oil prices this morning trading this way after oil came way off of the highs, now sitting at $60.07 a barrel on crude. Joining me now is Commodities Futures Trading Commission Acting Chairman Caroline Pham. Caroline, thanks very much for being here this morning. And I guess let's start right there. We've been watching a lot of movement in the price of gold as well as oil. Can you characterize the volume of those contracts in those two commodities for us?
Well, thank you so much, Maria, for having me on the show again today. We have been seeing the markets performing very strongly, as to be expected when we have so much performance, when you've got the trade deals going on, you've got a lot of wins happening right now, and you've got a lot of foreign direct investment. You're also seeing that reflected in the strength of the U.S. dollar and in the performance of gold, as you just outlined.
Yeah, so what is driving business at the CFTC right now?
So we are working very hard on making America the crypto capital of the world. You've seen the President's Working Group on Digital Asset Markets deliver the crypto roadmap in July, and I announced a 12-month crypto sprint in order to implement all of the recommendations for the CFTC from that crypto roadmap. We've been working very hard on that. I expect that we're going to go live with listed spot crypto trading on one of our futures exchanges by the end of the year. We are going to be providing some guidance on tokenized collateral, potentially including stablecoins, by the end of the year. And next year, we're going to be doing a rulemaking in order to implement technical amendments to some of our rules like collateral, margin treatment, clearing, settlement, record-keeping, reporting, really technical amendments that are going to implement changes necessary for blockchain technology. And with that, by August next year, we should be all done with the crypto sprint and implementing the President's Working Group recommendations.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see so much resonating in the crypto world with investors today. What about the regulatory backdrop? Are you expecting changes there in order to see this kind of euphoria for crypto and digital assets continue?
Absolutely. Look, America is back. Earlier this year, I went to Tokyo, Seoul, and the Middle East and talked about how we are providing the regulatory clarity. We have ended regulation by enforcement. We've ended the regulatory, just the being in the desert that we've been walking around, where America's been behind on financial innovation. And because of that, we're telling people to come and build, hire, invest, and build in America. And there's a lot of crypto companies that were thinking about expanding their operations offshore, but because we now have the regulatory clarity in the United States, they want to come here to New York, and they want to expand their offices in New York, and they're looking at the West Coast. And I think that's really showing how, with some commitment, with a regulatory clarity, and with ending regulation by enforcement, that's what it took. And you've had this unified whole of government approach, of course, under the president and under this administration, and particularly with my partnership with SEC Chairman Paul Atkins.
Well, it's a great point that you make, because the chairman made a recent speech on what he called, quote, a new era of collaboration between the SEC and the CFTC, saying, let me be clear, our focus is harmonization, not on a merger of the SEC and CFTC, which, of course, would be up to Congress and the president. The path forward right now is collaboration, not consolidation. I asked the chairman, Atkins, about this directly back in September. Watch this. When you first started your term, about consolidation potential of these two agencies. Back in July, there were reports suggesting that the White House was considering you lead the CFTC. Will you be combining these two agencies?
No, I have my hands full right now, and we're working hand in glove right now with the CFTC. We just don't need regulatory turf battles. The field is littered with bodies of would-be products such as portfolio margining and single stock futures and whatnot that over the years have been torpedoed by the lack of certainty as between what falls within the SEC's realm and what's at the CFTC's realm. So the two of us need to work together. We need to give certainty to the marketplace.
Caroline, your reaction?
I completely agree with SEC Chairman Atkins. What I've been focused on all year long is getting back to basics and making sure that we are getting back to regular order. And regular order is working closely with the SEC on harmonization, on working together where we have questions and engaging with the public to make sure that we're doing this in a thoughtful way with expert input. So it is a new day with the SEC and the CFTC. There is no more regulatory turf war. We can get away from those kinds of distractions and really just roll our sleeves up and get down to work. And that's why with the harmonization initiatives, we're going to be looking at not only addressing things like portfolio margining and some of the Dodd-Frank overreach, but also in enabling innovation, like through innovation exemptions.
And of course, the innovation is happening in digital assets. We want to look at crypto this morning. You just mentioned this is your priority. And does it surprise you to see these prices where they are and how crypto and digital assets seems to be resonating so much?
I don't think it's a surprise at all because Bitcoin has been around since I was staff at the CFTC in 2013 and looking at that asset class. And so, again, it has been because of the lack of regulatory clarity in the United States that you've had the markets be where they're at. But now, as people see the potential for this, as you've seen the administration's initiatives on this, I mean, every time I talk to people, it's really the regulatory clarity that they're asking for, and that's why you're seeing it reflected in the market.
All right, we will leave it there. Caroline, great to get your take on all of that. Congrats to you, and thanks so much.
Thank you.
Caroline Pham, CFTC. We'll be right back. Stay with us.